We are back, everybody, for another great episode on the one and only The Sick Podcast, Steeler Crazy. As always, Jay York Football alongside of me, Mic'd Up Sports One. How are you? Man, it's AFC North football this week, baby. Guess you could say the most wonderful time of the year, but I think that's December football, to say the least. But pretty exciting stuff. Obviously, coming off the loss to the Chargers, but a little bit of optimism. Hopefully they can right this ship and turn this thing around and get an AFC North win this upcoming weekend.
I'll tell you what's exciting. DraftKings is always exciting. And I said it last episode. I can't believe I'm saying it again. Week 11 starts now. It's game on. Every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. You know it, JY. It is not just football, okay? It's first touchdown fireworks. Anytime touchdown rushes, live bets that ride on every momentum shift at DraftKings. Every play is your next shot to win.
Any sport.
Right now. Any sport. That's a good point.
NBA.
It's not
NBA's
just
back. NHL's back.
Hockey. Jump on. Bet on the Penguins potentially as they head towards Sweden. That'll be a fun one. But Steelers -5.5 currently against the Bengals coming up this Sunday. So bet responsibly. But definitely what I think it might be a favorable line for sure. Here's the important thing. New customers. Bet just $5, get 300 in bonus bets instantly, plus over 200 off on Sunday NFL ticket. Season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use our code right there. 6 Sports. 6
There
Sports.
it is.
300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of 5 or more, plus over 200 of Sunday NFL ticket in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, fees may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
There you have it. Shane, take it from here.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Steelers Crazy.
Harris Smith shields. Flacco, Polamalu takes it home. Super Bowl 43. Pittsburgh might be bound for that thanks to number 43.
The sickest Pittsburgh Steelers podcast.
Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
And yes, we are excited to bring on our guest, our guy Max T, SI Bengals, joining us to preview the Steelers-Bengals AFC North matchup. Max, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you? The Super Bowl in the intro there is it's a little close to home. Kind of hurts, but
Let's roll it again.
Oh man, no, it didn't. It never happened.
Roll it again. Yeah.
But yeah, doing great. I'm doing great. Obviously, it's nice that we might get to watch Joe Burrow play football this season, even if we have nothing else. Like I thought I wasn't going to get any of that, so I'll take it.
There you have it. Well, we're going to jump right into it. Obviously, AFC North football, love the rivalry. At the end of the day, we want a good football game. Talk about, Joe Flacco actually, came out and smoked the Steelers last time. Just talk about a little bit of that past game, and then we'll jump into previewing this upcoming game this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's this recurring issue. And I think you see this league wide. It's not just the Bengals. It's whenever a team's backup quarterback comes in or they get somebody off the scrap heap, I think teams kind of defend them differently. And I think that they have a lot less respect or at least fear of what they're going to do. But the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, as long as you have a competent guy back there, if you don't make it hard to find Chase and Higgins, anybody who can color in the lines is going to do that. Now, the difference between Flacco and Burrow really shows up when defenses do that and make it really difficult and are able to take things away and force you into your reads while rushing the passer. And I think that those are the games where you really see why Joe Burrow is special and why you like to have him. But you got to get there. And if you don't get there, he's just going to sit back there and he's going to force the ball to them over and over. I mean, we saw it on that Thursday night, right? 33 combined targets for those two guys, 23 to Chase. And it was a lot of man coverage. I think it's a Steelers defense that will, as long as Mike Tomlin is there, will always be confident, right? And will always have an attitude and will always have an edge and chip on its shoulder. And I think that that's what makes the Steelers such a great franchise and such a cool rival and such a great thing as a fan to watch. But it can get you bitten sometimes. And I think that that's the kind of game where that can happen. I think that, what I've seen watching them on tape against Burrow, there's a lot more fear and respect there. And I think that no matter what, you always got to fear Chase and Higgins.
Yeah, most definitely. You guys are coming off the loss to the Jets. Do you feel that this is a must-win for the Bengals? Obviously, any AFC North game is important, but especially, is there any optimism that the season could be saved and you get your starting quarterback back?
I mean, I would say as far as realistic optimism, I just don't think the defense is going to be up for it. But the reason I think that is because I just don't think that they're going to win enough of these next couple games. And I think that, to your question, yeah, this is it. If they lose this game, I can't see a path. And that doesn't mean Burrow's not going to play or anything, but it means he's going to come back to play. Yeah. And I think if they don't win this game, if they don't find a way to dig this one out, then I just can't see a path to the division. I certainly can't see a path to the wild card regardless, which is so interesting considering we always just assume going into the season that two teams from this division are going to get in. Yeah. And this is not the case this year. I don't think. Certainly not the Bengals. Certainly not the Bengals. So it's everything.
So before I throw it over to Mike, we kind of know how the, Steeler Nation is, they're disgruntled all the time. Obviously the playoff win drought. What is the fan base like for the Bengals right now? Are they disgruntled or are they just kind of injuries happen? But obviously the defense, you talked about it, has just been abysmal. Just kind of talk about that. And then Mike, you could take it away.
Yeah, I mean, Bengals fans sort of, it reminds me of being a Mets fan growing up, not liking ownership, realizing that just the very skeleton of the organization is going to leave a lot short, even when things go well, and make it not super sustainable. So I think that there's always an element of disgruntledness among the Bengals fan base, and I think at this point it's the same sentiment that is shared league wide. I think it's just a little bit more potent, which is that they are wasting the ultimate starting point for an organization, right? When you hit on a future Hall of Fame quarterback and receiver, or at least that level of talent, we'll see if Burrow can stay healthy enough to get there. But when you hit on that kind, and then, get an edge rusher too, off the scrap heap of free agency who ends up being a star, and another wide receiver. And from there, just missing every single other part of the roster. From there, Bengals fans they understand what's going on, right? I don't think there's any hopium going on. I think the mask has been ripped off.
Mike,
I want to ask you about an element of the offense that worked against the Steelers. It's a guy drafted, unfortunately, in the second round in a lot of my fantasy leagues that I'm already pooped in, and that's Chase Brown. You guys ran the ball well. You didn't the first handful of weeks before you played the Steelers. What changed in that game? And do you think that's sustainable moving forward? I mean, the run game was great for you guys towards the end of last year. What the heck happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chase Brown's a stud. I think, you drafted him for pretty good reasons. I think had Burrow not gotten hurt, he'd be getting fed checkdowns too. And that's the thing is that, and this is the thing that's going to get exposed at some point, is that Joe Flacco's not really getting deep into reads at all. He's getting the ball to Higgins or Chase in rhythm, or it's not going anywhere. So, a lot of the time when Burrow is going to make a more honest read, and when those guys are taken away, he's just getting to his check down. At least, unless it's a got to have it situation that he's going to try to create, but he's going to check that ball down, especially with all the amount that linebackers get depth. So Chase Brown was a good pick process wise. But yeah, I think the thing that I was going to take him until somebody else took him, and then I took Brian Thomas Jr. So, we're not in a very different boat. But, I think that the Bengals run game, when it gets to a level where they're not blocking horrendously incompetently because of the boxes they get, can do some things. And I think that we've seen that whether Burrow's a quarterback or when he's not, especially in 2022. I mean, that was, to me, was the best version of what the Bengals currently are, to an extent. I think they've changed some things since then, but they were able to hit singles over and over. They were kind of like Luis Ariz in the run game, right? They're never going to go for extra bases, but they're going to slap that ball over. They are going to slap that ball over the shortstop. Hold on.
Well, I'll jump in with a more appropriate analogy for Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Keep Brian Hayes,
Yeah.
our guy that we traded over to the Reds, another slap hitter. Keep Brian, we love his glove, but we certainly don't.
Gold Glover, but
Go Glover.
can't
Can
hit.
you hear us?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
I'm having a software thing that I got to figure out for some just telestration stuff. So as long as you guys can see and hear me fine, then I'm good.
No, you're great. I just want to
good to
get
go.
you out of here with a couple more questions.
Yeah, no,
Trey
sorry.
Hendrickson-
I can finish
No,
my
you're good.
last point on that though.
Yeah,
with
sure. Go ahead.
the Luis Ariz stuff. Yeah, I think when they get to that point, they can do that, and I think that they've been helped by some pretty bad run defenses in the last couple weeks. I was shocked actually at some of the stuff that I saw from the Steelers up front in that game, and I don't,
Same.
it's a lot. Look, it's Thursday night. That's where you get weird things happening.
Mhm.
Teams have off games, units have off games, and I think that we all love to draw broad conclusions from individual games. So I don't know, but I know that in that one game, it was a lot of unsoundness on defense that they were able to turn into chunks because Brown is good and not necessarily great stuff the Bengals were doing. And in the Jets game, it was, I mean, this is a broad thing, is their run defense is a total disaster. It's nobody knows where to go. So I think that when you play light boxes like that, which the Jets did, you cannot stop the run against anybody. And I think that with a running back like Chase Brown, that goes from a little bit of damage to a lot of damage because he can make guys miss and he can get away. But I don't think it's sustainable, but I do think that as long as the Steelers are up to it up front and don't take another game off, then they're going to be able to slow it down, even if they play light on the back or light in the front end and commit resources to Higgins and Chase. So if they do their jobs, I'm not worried about it on the Pittsburgh end.
Yeah, Steelers have been really good the last two games, shockingly against Jonathan Taylor for one. And then, held the Chargers in check, at least the run game. So that'll be a huge element of this game. Two-parter. I'll be fast with it. One, Trey Hendrickson timetable. Two, how hot is Zach Taylor's seat?
Man, I mean, the Trey Hendrickson stuff is tough because it just kind of feels like a week-to-week thing right now where we're kind of seeing what's up every single week. I think that there are people more plugged in that probably have a better idea, but at the same time, he's been kind of in and out of the lineup, right? It's one of those injuries where I feel like the people who know don't know in a sense. Like, I mean, think about Brock Purdy right now. It turns out he had the same severity of injury as Joe Burrow at the end of the day, and is probably going to be worse off for not getting surgery. But it's just with Hendrickson, he's been very good when he's been in the lineup, but you can clearly tell that he's diminished. And so I think that they're trying to get him back to Trey Hendrickson. So I think that they're being a little bit more cautious with it instead of forcing him into the lineup when he'll be like a 50% version of himself and continue to aggravate it and really just get worse. So I think they're just being cautious. I don't think he's going to play, but if you're ever going to force it, now's the time over these next 2 weeks. And as for Taylor's seat, I really don't know. I really don't know because this is such an unusual organization. I think in a normal organization, if you were taking the median NFL team right now and a median NFL franchise in front office, I think Taylor's seat would be searing, even if I think it would be a lot of making a change to make it to change the trajectory of the organization, which honestly I get because something has to change. Even if the things that really need to change aren't going to change, like you need to try to change something around that so that you can maybe overcome it, which is an unfortunate position to put yourself in. But there are maybe solutions there. but they're loyal. I mean, they kept Marvin Lewis around forever, and Marvin Lewis did a great job, but they were able to stick through multiple really, really rough seasons, and they don't have a quick trigger when they think somebody is somebody they can win with. So, and Burrow loves him, but they have a great relationship. The culture, I think, is actually quite good, even if the team isn't like the defense just isn't talented. That's sometimes these problems aren't that complicated. And it's that the defense doesn't have good players on it. And that's really it. So I think ownership is just going to say, well, we just need to get better players. And then not do that, of course.
We kind of feel that sentiment in Pittsburgh because, like I alluded to earlier, we haven't had a playoff win in quite some time. So you would like to think Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat, but you just never know. So before we get you out of here, we're going to get a prediction for the game. And just tell everyone, I know you do a lot of stuff. I was reading about the tight end stuff. Just tell us about what you got going on, where they can find you, and what's your prediction.
Yeah, I mean, as far as my stuff, you can always find it on my Twitter at MaxToscano1. It all circulates through there. So if anybody's out there is curious about what I'm doing, it's a great place to find it. I run a Substack, as you hinted at, called Remember the Tight Ends, which is exclusively tight end focused, sort of about illuminating the very complicated and nitty-gritty particulars of the position and how it fits into offenses, because it's so much more unclear than every other position, I think. So there's a lot to explain.
Well, Steelers have about 14 tight ends, so I'm sure you'd have fun dissecting that.
Oh, exactly. I mean, the Steelers are a frequent watch for that reason, especially with Darnell Washington, who's so fun to watch. And yeah, I'm obviously doing stuff with Bengals Talk SI, and yeah, I mean and just independent random stuff on Twitter as well, just posting and kind of diagramming. So
awesome.
It's a great place to find it. As far as prediction, the Bengals aren't going to beat the Steelers twice, and this is the exact situation where they lose the game and for Burrow to come back, and it's just too late. I mean, that's just how it's going to go. And I think for football reasons, I don't think that the Steelers, you hope for your sake that the Steelers are going to learn from the first game. And honestly, they're going to. This is why winning a second division game against an equally matched opponent is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this is going to be, it's going to be a tough one. And I think that the Steelers' offensive success from the first game isn't going to go away, because a lot of that was just the fact that the Bengals' defense is terrible, and that's not changing. It's not changing in the bye week. So, yeah, I think this is, look, it's a must-win for Pittsburgh too. You don't want to start sliding. Baltimore is starting to get pieces back. So I think that the urgency goes both ways, and I think that it's just going to be a tough one for Cincinnati to win.
Well, we appreciate your honesty. I know you're on a Steeler podcast, but we always have other AFC North friends and foes, we like to call them. Obviously, you're friends at the end of the day, but this weekend, may the best team win. Hey, Max, appreciate your time. Keep doing what you do. I know we'll have to do this again sometime, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, well, yeah, you too, guys. Thanks so much for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
anytime, man. Take it easy. Thank you.
See you guys.
You want to give a real quick prediction before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, having a Bengals host on, you would think we're actually agreeing with them. I do think that like I said, I can't see the Steelers losing. Well, I say that lightly. I can see the Steelers losing, but to the Bengals twice, usually AFC North or a split. So I think that the offense gets it going. I'm going to say 34-20 Steelers. I think that, they kind of just really have to get something going at this point, because like he said, and like we said on past episodes, Baltimore's starting to get all the pieces back with Lamar, and December football is coming up, baby. This is the most wonderful time of the year, but it's also the most stressful, and this is when it counts. AFC North, we got to start stacking these wins, and hopefully, I always say it, inconsistency, man. Steelers can't. It's like one side of the ball figures it out, other side doesn't. It's like, can we just play collectively as a team and play, the full football game instead of playing the first half or the second half? I just think that they really need, at this point, they need to start cohesively coming together, or this isn't going to end well, because I think this is, if it does take that, downhill spiral, I think that this is where things can get ugly, and this will be like a soap opera, for Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I still have, that little bit of optimism, but I think 34-20 Steelers, I think they get it done.
Yeah, I'll keep it black and white. One, it is a must win. If they lose this game, pour gasoline on it, light it on fire, season's over. Ravens will win the AFC North, and hell, Bengals might even finish ahead of them if that's the case. I do think they will win. It's just what the Steelers do. It's that roller coaster. They get their ass whipped, They come back, they bring everybody back in just to bring them back down again. So they'll reel them back in with a big division win. I'll go 28-17, somewhere along those lines. So, and also, before I get out of here, I want to talk about something else that's black and white. The bottle on a Huel. You like that little transition right there? You like that?
Yeah, I got a restock. So make sure you use our code 6Steelers for 15% off for new customers. Fuel your best performance. It's excellent. I say it all the time. Packed with protein, meal replacement. If you're on the go and want to get all those macronutrients that you need, Huel is your go-to. I'm in the fitness realm of things, and I will say that this is the real deal. So make sure you use our code 6Steelers. Really good stuff. I have the powder. You have the to-go drinks. It's upstairs. Actually, I just ran out of the drinks because they're so good. I got to remember it's a meal replacement, not a protein shake. But yeah, make sure you check them out. Next episode, I'll show you the big pack. It got the nice little to-go thing. When you're out on the go and, you don't want to carry around a Tupperware container, this is a great go-to to fuel your day for whatever you need. But yeah, it's been a great week. Go back, watch our episode with former Steeler Tyson, and just really excited always. The late games are real tough for me. I wake up pretty early to start my day. So I go back and watch the film usually. Some I don't like. This past one, I'd like to forget that offensive performance. But like I said, AFC North football's here. Throw the records out of the window. I just hope that the Steelers can come out on top, but I think that they will. So,
bunch of early games in a row. So you're good. No late games until Miami in late December. Yeah,
and it's funny because people will text me and they'll be like, "Jordan, I have tickets," and I'm like, not to invite me on a school night. I appreciate the gesture, but it's not happening. I mean, but I'm waking up at like 3 a.m. every day, so like getting home at 1-2 o'clock. Training people on 2 hours of sleep is just not going to be feasible for me. But I do love the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I also love my 8 hours of sleep. So,
for sure.
With that being said, thank you guys. We're putting out content. Keep engaging. We really like when you guys do the one word, short and simple. So make sure you follow us on all socials. Shout out to Huel, DraftKings. Use our code. And we will see you guys next week with some great episodes. So take it easy, Shane.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Steelers Crazy on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.